It's a sad day for BlushCrunch fans. The member count just went below 1 million members. You know, I remember the day we reached 1 million members. It was all the way in March 18th, I believe. It's still in my photos, actually, right here. Yeah, that was all the way in March 18th. Yeah. It really sucks that Danny's World and the BlushCrunch Studio, is dying all because of people who just have to lie and play victim all the time. So I'm gonna link this in the description, but there's this video right here, and I recommend you check it out. But I'm gonna put the link in the description. But hold on, let me go somewhere so I can try to read something. I'm trying to find it. There's like a certain section where you can like read. I might have to watch the video a bit, actually. There's a certain part I just don't know. But what the heck? What the heck? Maybe
in the description.
here?
My community tab.
Oh yeah, here. Frick. Okay, here.
To help give the
There's this thing right here. Danish World PSA. I have made contact with someone at BlushCrunch. They have not deleted private information, but they shared their experience and bring light to public
more
that people are
information
not talking
regarding
about.
BlushCrunch. You can see the PSA on screen right now.
Okay, I'm gonna just read this. This person says, you know, that they have not deleted private information, but they want to share it to the public information because people are not talking about it. It's someone at BlushCrunch, but it's not Quell. Recently, it's been clear that no one has a way to contact Quell, which is probably her, taking her word, being, saying, because in her second apology, in her second statement, she said that she was going to step back from Danny's World and get the help she needs, which her not being able to, no one ever being able to contact her is kind of proof of this. But I am kind of scared and worried that she might be isolating herself. And if people are isolating themselves, then even though this is a big claim, she could possibly be depressed. I'm not gonna say she is, but she could be, because like a lot of things can happen. I'm gonna read this though. Cease and desist letters are not private to take down when shared publicly. Any sensitive, such as full name or address, can easily be censored. Yeah, Joji and Void could have easily shown the cease and desist. They claimed they were too uncomfortable to show it, which is a red flag because you should have said you can't for legal reasons. And yes, it could be true that it's uncomfortable to show it, but you could have just easily just blurted out. So that's kind of on you that you weren't, These letters typically share exactly why they were sent. Don't forget. In the second apology, Quell said that she didn't send a cease and desist. The legal team did, so Quell's innocent. Since BlushCrunch is a legal team, yeah, it's likely that Quell herself did not send a cease and desist letter. Yeah, both Quell herself admitted that she didn't send a cease and desist. The legal team did, and this person saying it too. Apologizing on a public forum or platform, while typically considered the right thing to do, can complicate legal actions. Yeah, see, this is the reason why Quell hasn't said anything for like a month, and then hasn't said anything else for like another month. Like, she can't apologize. Everyone thinks it's so easy to apologize. It's not. When you have a big company like Danny's World, which, keep in mind, in Quell's first statement, she mentioned how she had over 100 members in the BlushCrunch team. Yeah, and like, and there's well, and then the amount of people in the server just went below 1 million, so it really sucks. You know, when she has a game that big, like she's bound to have to like make decisions that are legally good instead of morally good because it's just how the world works. The world is just corrupted in ways. People think it's so easy, but it's not. If you're a content creator, it's not hard to make a response. But if you are like a big game dev owner, which keep in mind, I argue Danish Wood could be released on Steam if it wanted to, um, you can't just make an apology because like, you know, you might say something out of context or say something that you didn't mean to say and something like that, and it's gonna rub people the wrong way. I also really hate how people just never learn from situations. Doom by Fate with all you mentioned, you know, the drama was fake. Um for Pressure, we also already know the drama's fake. I also recently heard that Minitoon recently came out with the response, so it's likely he's innocent too for whatever he did. And also, about a month ago or so, I heard that, or maybe a few weeks, I heard that the creator of Bite by Night was getting exposed by a close member, you know, like a dev or whatever. And then Chalky Leo, of course, had to debunk that. Like, that's like 5 times in the same year that victims are just lying, or people exposing people are just lying. My question is, how can we possibly trust victims if this is like 5 times in a row where the owners are like not in the wrong? I just don't understand. I also question if people really care about victims or if they were just doing it for pressure, not pressure, you know, not pressure, or just doing it for attention. That's what I meant to say. I question if they really care for them or if they're only doing it for attention and money. And with the amount of you know, drama YouTubers out there, drama slop YouTubers out there, like Kwongo, who recently got exposed for going against Zombie Y, um, it really seems like they care more about drama and money rather than for attention and money rather than actually caring for victims. And it really sickens me that Danny's World's reputation is getting ruined because of pointless drama that happened 2 years ago, which, don't forget, Quell was groomed and manipulated for 6 years. While it doesn't excuse anything you did, you have to feel bad for her too, because she's a victim in this situation too. And then there's the Void and Joji situation, which, again, check this video out, the whole video, and you'll see what I mean by how Quell is pretty much innocent. There's this guy, I forgot his name, it's like Cyber whatever, like, and then there's like this other Danish World YouTuber I don't know name, but like, even though people don't have context to Quell, both of them are still skeptical of Quell because they're thinking, oh, she's probably just gonna come back like nothing happened. I mean, yeah, same people who said her first document was AI generated, which is disrespectful, especially when people accuse Zeal of the same thing. Don't forget, Zeal almost died because of this. And Joji said he wouldn't have a motive, which that could be true, but here's the thing, you don't need a motive. Look at Ren. She's doing everything she did because, well, she did everything she did because she couldn't handle ejection. So, like, you don't need a motive. Like, Joji's not making it look very good on himself, and he's just constantly, like, lying to us. And, like, oh, yeah, also, I'd like to point out he was harassing people. He's also a hypocrite and a liar. Like, he said people can base their own opinion, but every single time someone attempted to, you know, speak up, like whether that's on Twitter or on Reddit, Joji and Void would immediately go into defensive and, you know, shut down whoever, you know, was attempting to speak up, and then the information would get shut down before it can come up to public. Again, the proof is in this video. I recommend checking it out. Sure, again, Quell is not exactly great with decisions, but that does not mean she's a bad person. She's just a human being with flaws. And Void and Joji, like, people are still trying to like give them credit and sympathize with them, which is sickening when Quell is not a hypocrite. And also, I'd like to point out that Void was also in that same call as Quell. You know, the one where Rox was still around for 2 months before he got fired. And Void is 5 years older than Quell, so Void should have known better than Quell. Just because Quell's the owner does not mean all responsibility falls on her. Heck, the team, I'm pretty sure, admits it in this. I'm gonna read the rest of this now instead of venting. It would be like a defendant announcing they apologize for murder, even though courts have not judged them as guilty. I tried to zoom in, I couldn't. Admission of guilt, no matter how small, is never a good idea. It is best to wait for professional investigation to make the final call before making personal. Yeah, in her first document, she even mentioned she was trying to work with authority and a professional, and yet people just said she was victimizing herself, even though she was just defending herself, which you should be happy she was defending herself rather than attacking people. Most people, like, I bet you $100 if she was not defending herself, people would have accused her for attacking someone. And they make the excuse, oh, you didn't. They don't know who you're talking about. Duh, we actually do know who you're talking to. She purposefully didn't say who, so people wouldn't dox the people or harass people. Also, Joji and Void dox Quell's name, and yet like just because, and like for some reason the cyber whatever person, cyber haptic or what his name is, he just thinks that's fine because you could just look it up too. It doesn't count as doxing. I mean, Google kind of says it could count, but at the same time it doesn't count. So like some people would say it's doxing while others say it wouldn't. In my opinion, I'd say that's doxing, and I'm pretty sure the greater majority of people would say that's doxing. And if you say that it's not doxing, even though her name is not really, people don't really say her name and they just say Quell. Like, you still dox her name. You can't justify her action. And it's really disgusting that people would just be skeptical of Quell over this when it's clearly obvious both Void and Joji are bad people. Heck, Void likely just deleted his entire Twitter just to hide the evidence of what he did. Apparently, Void is xenophobic because he was being really disrespectful to Russian people, calling them scammers when, even though apparently they can't buy Robux, they said, they weren't scamming, they were just trying to get Robux. I feel so bad for, like, the Russians. I'm American, and I know Americans and Russians hate each other, hence the Cold War, but this is just disgusting, man. Like, you shouldn't be xenophobic. They call it xenophobic, not racist, so, but it's still really bad. Emotional decisions, internet sheriffs do not have the same investigation tools as the law. Quellver is required pay her workers. This person's probably not that good at English. Quellver is required pay her workers. They forgot the word to and required and pay, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so because of this debunks any type of Quell doesn't pay her employees type of BS. Also, people said Quell's gonna endure. They were wrong because Quell actually made a response. Yeah, 100 people working with or for BlushCrunch. Yeah, see, Quell said there was over 100 people, and this person said too. It's basically a company at this point, not just a game. If she has not paid someone, they would be well aware, and she would be a felon. A call-out Google document cannot discuss wage theft over the USA can. Yeah, there's only a bunch of screenshots. Like, a bunch of information that Joji and Void claimed has not been proven to be true yet. The only things that's been true is the cease and desist and, Quell being manipulated and, Quell keeping rocks for 2 months than she should have, but like, I can understand why she did it. Like, she's not a bad person. She's not problematic. She just didn't make the right choice at the time because she didn't know better. Keep in mind, she was 15 or 16 at the time when she met the guy. The employee who I am in contact with told me everyone is paid at this, given large bonuses, profit. This means everyone profits off this day in this world, not just Quavo or Joey. Yeah, it's also very disrespectful that people were saying to boycott the game. Not you do people saying Quell was using the funds to, sue the victims, and people still think that, which is very, very disrespectful. Same people have also said that Quell's a multimillionaire, and if that was true, then she wouldn't even need the funds from the game. Like, also, Quell's not the only one that makes money from the game. The whole team does. So when you are boycotting the game, you're not stopping anything. You're not saving people from being, victims for being silenced, even though victims are not being silenced. That's just the narrative being twisted. You are actually, you know, make just not letting them over 100 people get paid. Like, and if that happens, they're gonna get laid off, and if they get laid off, then they won't have a job, and if they don't have a job, then they'll go homeless, and if they go homeless, then they'll probably die, and along with their families, because all of you would rather boycott a game because we took a word from Joji and Void rather than actually using their brains and thinking about it logically for once, aka me. Every game update is worked on by multiple people and likely many months in advance. Even if Cover is a key decision maker at the studio, things like merchandise, game updates, and skins are made by the team at BlushCrunch. If something new comes out from Danny's Wood, it's unlikely that it was just Quell who made it, or that it was created by Quell at all. A lot of younger fans have the perspective that Quell was the only one who works on the game or has a massive team, when that is not close to truth. Clover isn't even the boss of BlushCrunch anymore. She's a valid lead. Yeah, so I'm sorry to say this to Sam and Snail. Please stop dropping on Quell. You both might have been wronged by Quell, but it could have been the team folio, no, and not Quell. Yes, if you don't know who, I read the documents on Twitter, not on Twitter. You know what I mean. When all 6 of them were speaking out. I said 6 because there was one anonymous person. There was Snail, there was Sam, there was Joji, there was Gary, and then I think there was Chip. It was either Chip or Void, but or was it someone else? I haven't read the document after it was like a month ago. Okay, give me a break. But Gary's a real victim. But my problem is, why is Gary coming after Quell and not Rox? Rox was the one that messed you up, not Quell. Also, Joji and Void were basically supporting Rox, actually. No, I'm serious. They backed up his information, and in this video, again, watching the description, he literally admitted, this guy literally said, why are we giving Rox a platform? He doesn't deserve a platform. Why are you letting this pedo and groomer and manipulator just on the platform? See what I mean? Joji and Void are just not good people. They're not. I said they're the problematic people here, and they're in the wrong here, and Quell's innocent. It just sucks that, this has gone on for this long because Void and Joji are freaking hypocrites, harassing people constantly. BlushCrunch is not a small studio anymore, and Quelver is a single cog in a machine, a very important cog, but still one of the quickly growing group. Her efforts to grow the brand by letting hired professionals take roles that she does not feel comfortable handling shows mature growth in her character. Well, to be fair, maybe that's why she hired a marketing manager. Maybe that's why she's handling the merchandise and stuff like that. I don't know for sure, but And she's making an effort to create a good property for a game. Since legal action is taken, the silence of BlushCrunch employees is clearly not, especially if people at the company are actively being targeted. I'm really positive for the future of Dane's World and BlushCrunch with my new and informed perspective that I have held for a while now. I've given permission for my person to spread a lot. So thank you for reading. Yeah, oh yeah. Also, Juki was here, which is really funny. She said she's gonna share the video. Oh yeah. Also, you're supposed to put in a bat emoji if you actually watch the video. But I donated $2 instead, and well, last time I checked, I don't have access to the bat emoji. I don't think I have access to the bat emoji. Yeah, because I'm on mobile, I don't have access to it. But this is what I said in my comment. Well, I'm gonna read Juki's first. Well, not read Juki's, I'm just gonna let you see and pause. And now I'm gonna read mine. I said, I said my gut told me not to trust Joji and Void. I don't know why. I feel like Markiplier and the Honey scam situation. I didn't expect it to be this deep of lies and deceptions. The amount of harassing hypocrisy is insane. I don't have Reddit and Twitter, which I'm glad I don't have Reddit and Twitter. But yeah, I became very skeptical because of the Doom by Fate situation. I'm trying to give a brief summary. Yeah, I said I feel bad for Gary and Chip, but I can't say the same for Joji and Void. They're not really victims. They're just people claiming to be victims. And it's really disrespectful to Chip and not Rocks, Chip and Gary. The people that were exposed to bad stuff because of Rocks. I mean, like Void and Joji, not so much, especially since they were adults. Yes, you can still be groomed as an adult, but Quell is also got groomed, so that's not an excuse for the stuff you're doing, Void and Joji. Yeah, because she was manipulated. Yep. I also made an assumption before Quell admitted she was groomed. I made an assumption she was groomed, which means I was correct on that. I also before the second document came out, I made an assumption that she didn't send legal team, and she didn't send the cease and desist. The legal team did, or something. Someone else did, or something like that. And I was correct on that too. Yeah, Joji's saying why you lie is a terrible excuse because it's a manipulative tactic. Yeah, the creator of the video, there was one video that this video references. I made a comment on that video that doxing is bad, and the creator of that video who asked questions to Joji and Void, even he didn't know who to side with, even after getting his information. Apparently, they said they didn't want that information to be shown of Quell's name, but that's still their fault that they had the audacity to dox her name. Yeah, and also, yeah, Quell really hates AI, and people are calling her response AI, which is very disrespectful. Which how are you supposed to, how are you supposed to believe anyone if you're just gonna call everything AI? It's disrespectful. Yeah, and then there's this other stuff. Yeah, I hope she can cover for trauma because she has trauma, and people are still outright calling it her victimizing herself. Yeah, that's made by Acid Drop. I hyped the video, and honestly, this video needs more views. Like I said, Juki watched the video. I don't think Juki made a video on it yet, though. No, she hasn't made a video on it yet, but I hope she does soon. I will watch the video, even if I'm currently hidden from the channel for unknown reasons. But anyway, yeah, okay, here's my stance on this. The first document was not a bad document. It was a good document. People are just stupid. Why? Well, because if they actually use their brains, I'm sorry if this is mean, but I'm tired of people doing this, but the first document was not AI generated. I said it was too personal to have been made by AI, because if you actually read the document, you know that it wouldn't that it goes into specific details, kinda, in a way. I said kinda because it didn't say names, but it still went into specific details, and I'm pretty sure ChatGPT would not do that. It doesn't have feelings. It would prioritize honesty over feelings, and it doesn't know everything about your personal life. So it doesn't make sense that it would do that. I mean, it was kind of a questionable for her to start with, "Hey guys, it's Quell," but the first document was not a bad document. People are just stupid because like I said, if they bother to use their brain, and again, not trying to harass people or anything like that, just hitting them with the truth bomb, because the whole drama started during the Fin of the Week update, and during that Fin of the Week update, Duck Adams came out with that video and all that, and it's been confirmed that Rox is friends with Duck Adams, and well, if people had a brain, well, I know there's mostly children in Dane's World community, but also pretty much people cares about drama and attention and money and nothing else. But if they actually paid attention, that first response was actually a good response, because it was the reason why it didn't address the Joji and the voice situation was because Quell was trying to be professional, and since the Duck Adams video came out, the first response was towards the Duck Adams video. The second response was the one towards the Joji and Void shit and stuff like that. Also, sorry for swearing. But like I said, the second document was the one addressing the cease and desist and stuff like that, not the first one, which means it was again her being professional. It was not her leaving stuff out. It was not her. If she said sorry multiple times, it was an apology. People are just stupid. It made me really upset that people called it AI. People just said she's still problematic, even though she responded. It's like she delivered, and yet you guys just want more. She delivered a second time, and you guys still want more. Like, why are you guys so demanding and so skeptical? There was nothing to be skeptical of. Quell is clearly sorry. Joji and Void, there was so many reasons to be skeptical of. Again, this video, link in the description. Trust me, look at everything in the video, even though it is 47 minutes long. And I'm kind of upset that the Danish World, Discord dropped below 1 million members. I'm not quitting Discord. I'm not quitting BlushCrunch. I'm not. I believe they're innocent in this. Joji and Void should be held accountability for their actions. In the second response for Quell, she said she was gonna stop legal whatever, but she said she was gonna continue legally suing someone. That someone was either Joji or Void. I don't know which one it is. At the time, I assumed it was Joji, but that was before I knew Void was a terrible person. I think Void might be a worse person than Joji, and I didn't know that. Like, I thought Joji was worse, but this video, again, link in the description, please watch it. Void has done a lot of stuff that Joji hasn't really done. Like Void, again, he knew about Rox's actions just like Quell, except he's 5 years older, so he should have known even better than Quell, more better than Quell. So it's his fault more than Quell's fault. And the employee in that video document thing I just showed you, the PSA or what it's called. I just showed you not all responsibility falls on the Quell, and Quell's not really everything. It's like BlushCrunch itself is responsible, kind of like a family, And like Void, I've already mentioned that he was being like xenophobic and all that, And like the fact that no one is talking about this is really ridiculous. Okay, like Gary and so for Gary and Chip, I again hope they get the closure they need and deserve because, well, they've been ignored for so long. But at the same time, they should be going after Vox, not Quell. And I don't know if it's been going on since 2021. I almost feel like they should just drop it. It's been 5 years at this point, but I'm not trying to dismiss them or ignore them. But like 5 years is kind of ridiculous to say something now. But like. I do think Quell should apologize to them too, but not really Joji and Void since they're not real victims. They're just claiming to be victims, and they've done a lot of bad stuff. Again, watch the video, please. I cannot stress enough. The video is just there. I showed the video or tried to mention a few people, but even then they're still skeptical. Which how can you be skeptical? I mean, yes, I know Quell admitted to the stuff she did, but you can clearly see in the second document that she's clearly remorseful and sorrowful or whatever, regretful for her past decisions. Like, I've done a lot of stuff in the past that I'm not proud of either. I mean, none of them are really illegal crimes, just like Quell didn't commit any illegal crimes, so it's really disrespectful that they were after her. But again, it's really hard to trust victims now. Like, I've become more skeptical of the victims, and I'm kind of glad of it, because like this whole time with Joji and Void, the moment they started claiming to be employees of BlushCrunch, that was already kind of suspicious, because anyone can just claim to be an employee of BlushCrunch. There's over 100 people, but there's like over 1 million members. Well, not anymore, because again, people are leaving Discord, and it's really sad. But at the end of the day, everyone is just human. Please just leave Quell alone. I really hope Quell is getting the real help she needs, and I hope people stop being skeptical and just know Quell is innocent. Like, just look at the horrible stuff Void and Joji have done. Please, video in the description. Last time. But again, I'm gonna say this once again, like I've always said. Please, let's all be civil. Please, let's not harass people, not dox anyone, nothing. Please. I'm tired of this. I didn't want to make a third video of this or whatever. The second time I made a video was because Quell made a response, I think, and then I made this video because the amount of people of members went below 1 million, and it really saddened me. I do think Danny's World can make a comeback, though. It can if Quell comes back after like a few months later, and and the team locks in, and hopefully bounces the game better. Well, and also Halloween coming out, it can make a comeback. Please, again, don't harass anyone, anything. Remain civil, please. You can state your opinion, but don't be like Joji Avoid, okay? Again, one flat line of time, watch the video in the link in the description. Goodbye.